legs are out for purposes. I will roll over this pretty ass dress that was made for me. So I used to be able to really remember things. And then 2020 happened, and I ended up in the hospital a few times. And it wasn't COVID related, but I almost died twice. So now my brain is a sieve. So I'm using a tool for myself, which is my phone, so I can share my stories with you now. Orange. I remember holding on to my cousin's bright orange hoodie. As we traveled a road we had both learned to hate. Me because I had been on this particular journey for a long time, and her because it was an indication that something has gone terribly wrong. I had asked to hold on to the bottom of her hoodie with my left hand because my right was caught between creeping towards the door handle of the moving car and the lock on my seatbelt. She had no idea in the moment of what I was trying not to do. Even while it was less than ambiguous towards myself, I still thought of others, and I couldn't do that to her. When we arrived at the emergency mental health clinic, I walked inside, checked in, and found a seat while she parked. There was another woman who came in. We gave each other sympathetic smiles because we both knew why the other was here. I spent an hour telling and reliving my story and symptoms to two technicians, afraid that I wouldn't be believed because in the past I haven't been. I struggled to force my voice to match what I was actually feeling. I fought to allow tears to flow, or at least give the appearance of flowing. I allowed my face to fall from behind the mask, still worried that I was getting it wrong and that they would send me home. When they left, I turned to my cousin, worried that I hadn't done enough, but I saw the concern and recognized the look that comes from feeling powerless in a situation. It took 15 minutes. Something that I had been waiting to be diagnosed with all of my life. I am 43 years old, and it took 15 minutes before an extremely chipper blonde woman burst into the room. "I know what this is," she exclaimed. "You're bipolar too." She went on to explain what that meant and rattled off a cocktail of drugs I'd be taking in the future like it was nothing. Supposedly, she kept mentioning my weight and how I'd lose it, but I don't remember because of how relieved I was to have that diagnosis. A word, a definition to grasp hold of, something to make sense of it all. My prescriptions were sent to the pharmacy, and I was given a warning that the Lamictal, while helping my brain, could cause my skin to fall off, so watch for that. So far, the pills are great when they're working. I learned early on that nothing is 100%. They weren't magic. But the magic came, and it was from the care that my family, Bertha and Michelle, gave me. It displayed itself in back rubs and cups of ice to crunch on at night, phone calls and visits through the bedroom window, relearning how to breathe and play, and sometimes the magic is in the color orange, the shade she wore that day as she brought me through curving hills and deep valleys, a long road to a place we hated to go, and a destination where I could begin again. This one is called Oh Death. It's hard to read because I have a different kind of relationship with death. Sometimes I'm like, all right, you good, you rubbed your booty on me, but you left me alone. And then sometimes I'm like, oh shit, you're right around the corner, no! So I wrote this the first time I ended up in was it the first time? Yeah, I think it was the first time I ended up in the hospital. And it's a love poem. I believe you love me. I've educated myself on the subject of you since this body has been made for you, and I sincerely believe that you love me. One day I'm gonna rise up singing, I'll fly away in the morning to lay my burden down by your river. I'll be washed clean with the promise, so I know you love me. You loved me since the day I was born, followed me closely through a reckless childhood, just a hair away from my skin, but you never touched me. Instead, you painted green leaves with fire for me every year, showed me the beauty of stillness in the snow, took people and places from me, and in that taught me to better hold the smallest moments in the mindful memory of my heart, not just my head. You are not the landlord of a fleshed house that isn't mine. You are an instructor, a healer, a comforter, reminder, protector. You love me. You are not a faceless scythe or knife to sever threads woven on the loom. You are twisted in this thread, ribbon and maypole. And as each circle of this dance brings us closer together, I find myself wondering, what will I taste like to you when you finally catch me in your arms? When my eyes are so full of the sight of you that I see nothing else? When your lips press a seal to mine and take my breath away? When your touch bestills my beating heart? I know we flirted before, but when it's real, I hope that maybe it can be how I wanted my first time to be. On the perfect evening, with white curtains of gossamer waltzing on honeysuckle breezes, a sunset you orchestrated, giving way to the first stars. I hope you'll lay beside me in a beautiful bed, touch me with the gentleness informed by exquisite expertise. If only you would wait. Wait until I'm ready for you, and I promise my smile will be a heaven full of stars for you to fall into. My lips sweet with this life I've lived well in wait of you. If you would only wait. I'll open my arms to embrace you, surrender with side breath, and love you as you came, as you come for me. And this is the last one I'll leave you with tonight. To Black femmes whose bodies have broken down and brains have decided to not because they had to for so long. Even though we have been strong enough to hold other people at their worst, even though we have sat on the side of deathbeds, felt immense pain physically, spiritually, and emotionally, does not mean that we can withstand everything. We were never meant to know where our limits or our walls are, but look at us. We pass so close to them that we may lose our skin. I want so much for this to be a love letter, but I can't alchemize the pain and turn this into something beautiful, but I want to. Does your back hurt? Or is it the narrowing of a spine, a slip of the disc? Did they just set you off, or are they triggering something deep inside of you where someone had hurt you and you were told just to get over it? Like we were told, Black women, femmes, and thems, that our body pain is nothing. We have been told that our reaction to extreme discomfort is an overreaction. So many of us have been hurting all our lives, walking around with chronic aches and pains, joints that go out of place, constant upset stomachs, headaches, unexplained things that was called tiredness. Many of us have been dealing with different levels and ability and disability that we remain quiet about because we were told that it's just a tax of being alive. It hurts. And while we were taught, most of us taught, no other way but forward, I'm begging us to stop. Even when we think we have done enough, I still need us to do less. I need us to stop, rest, and recharge. And we need doctors to see us and calculate for the complexity of what it means to exist at the intersection of Black woman, femme, them, chronically ill, and disabled. We need to be treated with softness because we are so precious. Softness, tissue boxes, and time. Leaning into the knowing that even when we feel like we've done too little, that we have actually done too much. We require rest instead of the poison of resilience. I no longer bend in the wind. I break, I fracture, and crack. There are those of us who do not yield. There is no subtle softness here, no bouncing back, no getting back up, dusting off, reframing. There is no resiliency here, just a requiem for it. Resiliency is turned to toxicity when it is taught within the paradigm of perfection. Resiliency doesn't live here anymore. We can refuse it re-entry into ourselves. I did so, not from a place of resistance, but from a place of exhaustion so deep that I could only rest. Rest saves lives. When resiliency demands you to move mountains alone, rest will say no. When resiliency said, if you just work a little harder, despite the cost to your health, to your life, rest will say no. When resiliency said you have to prove your worth every time, all the time, every interaction must be perfect, rest will say not today, Satan. Today we are sick. We get to stop. We have to stop. We have to rest. Thank you.